Hello, students. Welcome to the popular culture class. I am going to be your instructor for the next 16 weeks. Yes, 16. You can call me Josh. You can call me Professor Nettles. Whatever you like. It really doesn't matter. But one of those two would be great. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. I graduated from Cal State Long Beach with a degree in biology and Japanese. I know they don't mix, right? But I was confused at the time. I also did a minor in chemistry just because. Um, and after that, I did my master's at Cal State Long Beach as well in Asian studies, particularly to learn how to teach Japanese. I'm fluent in Japanese, so if we have any Japanese exchange students, feel free to ask questions in Japanese if you'd like. Unfortunately, I don't speak Chinese or Korean. I hope to one day. I'm working on that, but yeah, I'm really into popular culture, so that's how I ended up teaching this class. And so today we have week one, the syllabus. And this is probably because you guys aren't going to read it. And usually the syllabus is full of a lot of complicated language. It's like contract language. So I'd rather go over it myself and save you guys the time of reading it. Instead, you have to watch this video. So let's get started. Uh, so we're going to learn about three countries. We're going to focus on East Asia because when we talk about Asian popular culture, most of it's coming from East Asia. We're going to have South Korea, where in particular we're going to look at pop music, K-pop. I know you guys love K-pop, K-dramas. Everybody goes through K-drama phase, and a film. There have been a lot of good Korean films out recently, a lot of which have made it to the States. Road to Busan, I think. Train to Busan, I'm sorry. I got my movies mixed up. But yeah, Train to Busan, I think everybody's seen on Netflix. So yeah, Korean film is on the rise. And of course, esports, the home of esports, South Korea, pretty much dominating in any form of esports. And then we have Japan, pop music, which is really, really different from South Korean pop music. So we'll talk about that. Film, animation, anime, however you want to say it, and then games because we all love a good JRPG, right? And then China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan. And I'm not saying these places are all the same. Some people would. But in the realm of popular culture, they are quite different. So we're going to look at music mainly from China and Hong Kong, film from China and Hong Kong, and then Taiwan, I think we'll actually take a look at dramas. So that is what you have to look forward to. Now, we're not just going to learn pop culture. Of course, I was looking at my Rate My Professor ratings recently, and some of the people were like, oh, yeah, we're going to watch a lot of videos and anime and stuff. Yes, you have to watch stuff. Because I found that there are students who are not familiar with East Asian popular culture. And so, in order to learn about it, in order to apply it, you have to be able to be exposed to it first. And so, you're going to get exposed to a lot of East Asian popular culture. So that'll be fun. Look forward to that. But not just that. We're going to take popular culture and we're going to use it as a lens to learn about some of the issues. You're going to learn about You're going to learn about East Asian culture, East Asian society, East Asian history. You're going to learn a lot about East Asia through the lens of popular culture. And I think it's a lot more fun looking at it through popular culture. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. But we're going to move on here. We'll get in more to what the class is about later on in a different video. Books. There's a typo in the syllabus that says that the Korean Popular Culture Reader was published in 2013. It's actually published in 2014. So when you see it on Amazon, that is the correct edition. There is only one. This book is a little harder to read. I tried to pick the easier chapters, but some of you may struggle with this a little bit. But stick with it. It's a good read. It's a lot of relevant material. Cool Japan just came out, I think, last year. It's a great book, easy to read. I'm sure you'll enjoy that one if you like reading. A lot of students don't. I didn't when I was a student, but it's not difficult. So, I mean, and it's about Japan, it's about anime, it's about manga, it's about all the things you should like. So, I mean, it's better than reading any other kind of book, right? So these are the books. We'll start, if you really can't get both books, start with the Korean popular culture reader because we're going to start with South Korea first, starting next week. Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, definitely get that one first. And they're both available in ebook format on the Kindle on Amazon. So you can get a hard copy or digital copy, whichever you prefer. All right, so moving on here, office hours. So I actually live in Sacramento, California. I've left SoCal. I know. But so if you're at CSULB for this course, Asian Studies 200, you're looking at office hours between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. On Monday. And this is online through Zoom, and the links to the Zoom class, I guess, meeting area are in the syllabus. And if you never use Zoom, it's pretty intuitive. You just have to click the link and follow the instructions. Click next, 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 right? All right, and then if you're at Dominguez Hills taking a 315, it's going to be an hour later, Monday 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And of course, if these times don't work out for you, yeah, you can make an appointment. I sit at my computer all day preparing material like this for you, entertaining material. But at the same time, I'm also playing some games. So if you send me an email as well, I'll probably get back to you fairly quickly. So those are two ways to get in touch with me if you ever have any questions. And I'm moving on here. Grades, because this is what everyone cares about, right? And I'm going to give you a whole spiel about grades towards the end, but since everyone really cares about this class is percentage based, not point based. So each category is going to have its own percentage. You're going to have discussion boards, responses. So not the actual post, but the response and participation in the course, which really just amounts to the peer review of your draft of a paper that you're going to have, is going to come out to 5%. This is a really easy 5%. Just do it. You should really try to put some effort into it. I do read your responses, so if you just send me lyrics to a Tupac song, I'm going to know that you didn't really try and you're not going to get points. So just try. We don't have an actual class, so this is the only way that we can kind of communicate with each other. I respond to at least 10 of your posts, probably. So yeah, if it's to create part of the online community for the class. So easy points there. Just do it. There you go. Discussion boards. So these are worth 20% of your grade, and I weighted this pretty heavily because it's there to kind of buffer your grade. Of course, discussion boards are very important since we don't have a classroom. This is where all of our discussions will take place. The discussion boards we're going to talk about in a little bit on the next slide, so I'll skip that. But 20%. Midterm. This class used to have quizzes, but now we're not doing quizzes. And the reason why is because it was just too much work, too much to keep track of. It's much easier just to cram it all into a midterm. You guys save time, I save time. We'll talk about that a little later, but 15%. Concept draft. All of the next assignments are part of what is called your popular culture project. And so these will all be lumped together. Let's see if we can add this up here. 20, 40, 55, 60% of your grade is made up of parts of your popular culture project. That's a good chunk, but it's in pieces. So a lot of it is just preparing you for the final paper plus a presentation. So it's not too bad. I think most people do fairly well in this class. It's not, I wouldn't say it's an easy class, but it's an enjoyable class. And I think it's part of why people do so well. All right, moving on. Discussion boards. We'll have maybe one every week. There'll be certain weeks where just the workload is too heavy to have a discussion board. Maybe the midterm week we won't have one, and the final week we won't have one, and maybe the peer review week. So there'll be some weeks where we don't have one, but they're going to be, you'll get weekly questions about content that we've had in class. 1 to 2 good-sized paragraphs, none of those high school 5-sentence paragraphs, enough to just answer the question. Academic language. Yes, you need to use academic language. I know sometimes in these videos I won't use academic language. That is purely for entertainment. But when you post something, when you write something, you turn in an assignment, it should be in academic language. So no, that was lit, bruh. No, I don't want to see lit. I don't want to see bruh in any discussion boards. Whatever you guys are saying these days. Yeah, just keep it academic, okay? And then no citations needed. We're gonna keep it really casual. The research part of the class is gonna come in with the project. So, but I mean, you're more than welcome to cite your sources if you had any, if you want to get practice in. That's fine. And the response post we talked about, you only need to respond to one person's post. If you can, try to respond to one that hasn't been responded to yet. It's kind of sad when somebody's post didn't get any responses. It's like being picked last in dodgeball. So yeah, try to make sure that you respond to one that hasn't been responded to yet. So that means that the early bird gets the worm, right? So you have your pick if you do it early. You're going to talk about, do you disagree or agree with your classmates? What do you think about their comments? I'm going to be honest here, this is pretty easy points. And you can write this casually. But again, write it casually, but that does not mean you can say, yo man, your discussion board was super hype lit, bruh. Don't do that. Don't do that. I think it's funny, but don't do it. All right? Don't do it. All right, moving on. We have the midterm slash final exam because they'll be exactly the same format. It'll be 35 to 40 questions. Most of them will be multiple choice or true false, but we'll have some short answer there. It's all going to be based on lectures, videos, and the readings. You'll get a study guide. It doesn't say that on the slide here, but you will get a study guide, so you don't have to worry about that. Week 8 and week 16. So the midterm is going to be week 8. Hopefully, we can stay on schedule here. And the other final exam will be week 16, which is finals week. And you'll get one attempt, but you get unlimited time, and you'll have a 1 week period to complete it. Even if you complete it, you will not see your answers until the everyone has taken the quiz. And I encourage you guys to work together on this. So get to know each other, maybe exchange emails, exchange phone numbers, maybe meet up on campus if you can. Because there's no reason not to work together. I mean, two brains is better than one, right? Hopefully. The questions are randomized, so you will have to help each other go through each individual question for both exams. But I think it's worth it. I mean, in the real life, if you come across a problem, you can use other people as a source of information, as a source of help. So I'd like to take that and apply that to the classroom as well. And I can't stop you from working together anyway. I'm all the way in Sacramento, so yeah, definitely consider working together with your classmates. And then we're gonna move on here. Pop culture project. And so this class originally had group work, but usually it's someone who's really insecure about, doesn't really trust the other members of the group, does about 90% of the work, or you end up with group members who can't really find time to get together to do the work. So group work, let's just save that for another class. The pop culture project is going to be an individual project. You're going to have a research question for the concept draft. We're going to start developing that soon. Online, I'm going to post some topics that have been done previously. You're more than welcome to choose one of those topics. But things like beauty standards in South Korea or hikikomori in Japan, the shut-ins. So there are various topics. A lot of people, I recommend you connect your topic to your major. So one guy was a biology major, and he did a marine biology major, and he did uh, sustainability of the with the sushi industry in Japan. So he was looking at how to sustain the ocean's population of fish, even with the popularity of the sushi industry. So that was really interesting. And there was a nursing major that did kind of the negative health effects of South Korean esports athletes. I don't know if I'd call them athletes, but I'm not really sure what they call them. So we'll call them athletes. So you're just going to say why you chose the topic, how might this research be useful, and what sources might you expect to use. And so that'll be due around week 4. Week 9, you're going to give me a detailed outline and an annotated bibliography. I'm going to have examples of what I expect for these, so you don't have to worry about that. Presentation, you're going to have a video presentation. It could be something as simple as simply your voice over a PowerPoint presentation. They shouldn't be very long, 5 to 7 minutes. There will be examples online posted as well, and then it'll be posted to the discussion board, so you'll have to respond to somebody else's presentation as well. Peer review, you have to review at least one classmate's draft. And then the final paper, which is going to be 6 to 8 pages. There is going to be a rubric for that posted online as well to make sure that you can, check off to make sure you're getting the most points possible. Moving on. This is a great project, though. This is the only time that you're going to be able to study something like this. And this is the only class where you might know more than the teacher about a given subject. It's impossible to know everything about East Asian popular culture. Usually, teachers specialize in a few areas. I'm pretty spread out, but K-pop is one area that I'm weak in. I am familiar with it, but the fans definitely know more than I do. But it's the connection to society, the connection to culture that I'm here to teach you. So that's what you have to get from me. The grading scale, it's a regular grading scale. 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, 70 to 79 is a C, 60 to 69 is a D, and lower than that is an F. I don't think I've ever failed anyone who's ever turned in everything. So, yeah, most people do all right. Borderline grades, I will round up 0.5% if you've turned in all the assignments. An extra credit will be available to everyone. There will always be extra credit available in the midterm and the final, and there might be some extra credit available outside of that. We'll just have to see how it works out when we go along throughout the semester. Deadlines. Deadlines are guidelines for the undisciplined, and that is a quote by me this year. Deadlines I have there purely for you to keep up with the work in class. And online classes require a great deal of self discipline. You got to stay on top of the work and not fall behind. That being said, I know what it's like being a student. I've had 5 exams in a paper fall on the same day. Probably my fault for trying to cram my classes on Tuesday and Thursday only. But things happen. So I like to have the flexible class. So if you don't meet a deadline, and it's okay to be late, but reasonably late. And the one thing I do ask you to do if you're going to be late is that you notify me by email once you turn it in. That way I know to go back and grade it. Otherwise, I'm going to forget about it, and you might not get a grade for it for a really long time. So that's one thing that I like to do for you guys. I like for you to be able to work out your own schedule, have a little wiggle room, flexibility to kind of prioritize. I'm not saying that this class isn't important, it is very important, but it's always nice to be able to have some options when things get tough. So, that being said, this next part will be on the quiz. It'll be a question. It's always not on the quiz, on the midterm. But the easiest way to get a good grade in this class is to do all the work. This class is not hard. This class should be fun. I really don't want you to worry about the grade too much. If you try to just enjoy the class, try to learn something, I really believe that universities are there for you to finally be able to explore and learn the things that you want. I try to stay away from the idea that universities are just the gatekeepers to employment. So I really hope that you guys do learn something and not to be so concerned with the grade. If you really try to enjoy the class, the good grade will follow along with that. So with that said, that is the end of the syllabus, and I'll see you guys in the next lecture. Bye.